The other thing we look at in our descriptive statistics are the measures of variability. And there's a few measures of variability: range, variance, standard deviation, and coefficient of variation doesn't actually show up in your output of descriptive statistics, but I'll explain that. Range is just going to be the max minus the min. So basically you saw in that data that they gave you the max, the min, and the range. It's just, the highest number, highest age, minus the lowest age will give you the range. So we collected data on how many Facebook friends students had. The minimum was 0 and the max was 1909. So the range is going to be 1909, just the maximum minus 0. Okay. Variance basically allows you to get to the standard deviation. In the past, you would typically calculate variance and standard deviation, but standard deviation is in the same units as the original data. So that's typically what's reported in the research results or paper article. But the variance describes how the data vary about the mean. And standard deviation is similar, but it's actually in the same units as the data. So this is the formula that you don't have to do because we have Excel and descriptive statistics, but the sigma squared is for the population, and the S squared is the sample. So population variance and standard and sample variance. But again, typically what's reported is your standard deviation. This is the average distance away from the mean. So basically, if there's a ton of variability, there's going to be a large distance away from the mean. Something like in a classroom of students, let's say freshmen, what's going to have the most variability, GPA or age? It's going to be GPA. There's going to be a lot more variation in GPA than in age for freshmen. So that's how you calculate that. Very similar to variance, only you just take the square root of the variance. So again, that's in the same units as the original data. So standard deviation will be in years if you're talking about age. Okay, so we saw in the descriptive statistics for the age data, I opened the happiness age data set. Within Connect, you've got your homework and the ebook in there. So the ebook and your homework are all in the same place within the McGraw-Hill Connect system. Once you're in Connect, you can hit on Library, click on Library, and Student Materials will have the data sets as well. Okay, and then you can use descriptive statistics like I showed you to find all of these measures of central tendency and variability. So this is kind of some screenshots of what I did for descriptive statistics. This is the way they used to do Megastat. It used to fall under add-ins, so some of you may have it that way, add-ins, Megastat, but nowadays it's on the data tab. You can see the data tab there, right here. So as you saw in my demo of the descriptive statistics. So again, just click on descriptive statistics, select the age data, check the box for median, quartiles, mode, and outliers to be included along with the typical ones like mean and standard deviation. Okay, and output will give you all the measures of central tendency and variability like we saw. So now we can see that the average distance away from the mean is 22 years. So that's kind of high when I think about, okay, that means the mean is 55, and it's sort of like saying give or take 22 years. That seems like quite a bit of variability, but right now we'll just use that, it's in years, but we'll be able to standardize that with the coefficient of variation later so that we can compare it to different data sets. You'll see your age range is 73 years because the maximum was 88 and you just subtract 15. Okay, so the results basically show there were 24 people in the sample. Average age was 55.63, which is pretty close to the median age of 56.5, but the mode was pretty different with 41, since that is just a measure of what was the most common age. So there could be more than one mode, there could be no mode, so it's not as useful as a measure of central tendency. And like I said, the range was 73 years, and average distance from the mean was 22.68 years.